Today I want to talk to you about Amazon FBA post Q4 strategies. Some strategies that will help you keep the profits coming in Q1. Now Q4, amazing time of the year, and it's so much fun, and we kind of get used to finding inventory everywhere to sell on Amazon and seeing sales just continue to come. And so I want to make sure that things continue to go well for you in Q1. So here are some post Q4 strategies that have helped me out. I hope it can help you out too. Tip number one, continue to feed the beast. Now, feeding the beast is a phrase that Amazon sellers have used to basically mean keep sending stuff to Amazon. Don't just stop sending items to Amazon. Continue to feed the beast. Get your inventory levels up again. The more items that you have on Amazon, the more you're going to sell. And for some reason, Amazon has this thing with their algorithm for their buy box that if you continue to send stuff in, they're going to continue to give you more of a percentage of the buy box for the items that you have. So keep feeding the beast. Tip number two is this: stay on top of your returns. When January comes, some people start to rename January as Returnuary because of the increase in returns that happen in January. So you need to stay on top of your returns, because here's the deal. Sometimes Amazon will grant a return to a seller, to a buyer, but the buyer doesn't actually return the item. Well, you deserve a reimbursement for that. You can find out more about that going to fulltimefba.com/returns, and I can tell you exactly how to make sure that the items that have been returned but not actually really returned, you've got the money out of your account back to the customer, but they never sent that item back. You want to make sure that you stay on top of that. And also, there are some returns where maybe the customer only sent back an empty box, or maybe the customer returned only half of the product, or returns a product without the original UPC. There's a lot of different things that you want to make sure that is done right with the return, so that you are reimbursed if an Amazon customer does not follow the return guidelines. You can find some more information about that also on the blog, fulltimefba.com/steps4returns. And I'll tell you what to do when you get a return so that you can make sure that you get your money and people don't just return trash. I've had people return empty boxes. I've had people return back a completely different item. You want to stay on top of that for your business. And just know, with returns, the holiday return window stays open until January 31st. So if somebody orders something in November, they still have January 31st to return it, because they know sometimes people buy stuff in November, it's not opened until late December, and so they keep that window open. So you might have some increased returns. But don't freak out about increased returns on Amazon. The only reason you're going to have increased returns is because you have increased sales, and that's a good thing. The return percentage stays about the same in regards to your sales increase. So it's all still just normal. It just feels like more because we're not used to that much all at one time. So that's my second tip. Stay on top of your returns. My third tip is mental. It's a mental tip. It's about sales expectations. So in Q4, you might have gotten used to going to your pending sales page and seeing all these pending sales, seeing your disbursement hike up just incredibly fast. You see all these sales, you see all these emails coming in. Amazon has shipped an order that you sold, and you get used to seeing that a lot. Well, you kind of have to have a mental detox that it's going to happen less, but that's okay. That's just all part of the process. The sales are going to kind of slow down, and we have to mentally prepare for that. So you don't want to freak out when you have a really slow sales day, just because it might have been a normal day for you earlier before Q4, but now that it's Q1 and your sales are a little bit slower than you're used to, just make sure that you're continuing to follow tip number one, which is feeding the beast and finding good inventory. Tip number four is also sort of a mental strategy when it comes to detox, because it's a sourcing detox. Tip number four is understanding that sourcing parameters are going to be different. A lot of times when you buy something to sell on Amazon during Q4, you find a certain rank and you expect certain type of sales connected to that rank. Well, that rank might be really good because it sold a lot during December, but it might not sell very well during January, February. So when you're outsourcing, be sure to not just look at the single snapshot in time of the sales rank and the current price, because that might not continue. Especially early on in Q1, because here's the deal. A lot of items on Amazon, their stock has gone down because of all the increased Amazon sales. So their stock levels are down, and when stock levels are down, supply and demand, the price goes up. So you might be sourcing for inventory, and you're like, oh man, this has a really great rank, and the prices are at $50. That's awesome. Well, it might be priced at $50 simply because all the lower prices are sold out, but no one in their right mind is going to pay $50 for a certain particular item. You want to be sure that you actually can get the price you expect. So how do I do that? I like to check almost every single item I'm sourcing with Camel, 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 or Keepa. And Camel, 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 and Keepa are free programs that give you sales history, ranking history, pricing history, so that you can make a good decision. So if an item is being sold on Amazon, you can go back and say like, oh, hey, back in August, before the Q4 craziness, this was where it was selling. Maybe I can expect that sometime in January. Or if it's been on Amazon longer than a year, you can actually look back at the graphs and be able to see, oh, hey, this is where the price went in January last year. It might do the exact same thing. If you want some free training on how to understand Camel, 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 and Keepa, I've got 2 posts for you. FulltimeFBA.com/readcamel helps me walk you, as a video where I walk you through how to understand Camel, 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 and FulltimeFBA.com/readkeepa is how I teach you how to read and understand a Keepa graph. So be sure you're looking at that, because those numbers that you see in January and early Q1, they might not be the right numbers that are going to continue on throughout the rest of the year. So tip number 5 is this. In Q1, especially January, I love looking at thrift stores. Now, here's the reason why. When the new year comes, people get in the organization's mood. They want to organize things. They want to just be, they're so organizational. They're cleaning out closets. They're cleaning out their garages. They're sending tons more stuff to thrift stores. I mean, people get all this new stuff for Christmas, so they're getting rid of all their old stuff. Well, you can find a lot of really great things, especially around the new year, at thrift stores. In fact, some people give to thrift stores something that Aunt Martha gave them for Christmas, and it's still wrapped up and it's still brand new, or I mean wrapped up in the original packaging and still brand new. So there's a lot of times good opportunities to find brand new items in thrift stores in January. So search thrift stores and you might be able to find some really good items. You can also find some good textbooks at thrift stores. In January, back to school time for the spring semester, you might be able to find some items that are good to sell on Amazon, because textbook sales are awesome in January. So, and my last tip for starting off Q1 right and continuing the Q4 profits into Q1 is this. Always be looking ahead. Don't respond to different opportunities too late. Be looking ahead. What's coming up ahead? There's Valentine's Day. I mean, you might be able to find some Christmas cookies or Christmas chocolates that are, that could be repurposed for a Valentine's Day gift. Maybe it's in a red tin because it's Christmas, but it doesn't have any Christmas trees or Christmas lights or Christmas words on it or anything like that. You can repurpose that for like Valentine's Day. So there's a lot of different opportunities. Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, spring break, Final Four, NCAA and March Madness. There's a lot of different opportunities coming up January, February, and March to be able to be prepared for ahead of time so that you can take advantage of those situations. So those are my top 6 tips to start January right, start January and Q1 strong. If you want more tips, I've got an entire book, The Reseller's Guide to a Year in FBA. It's a month-by-month guide to a profitable Amazon business from January to December. I walk you through all the different types of opportunities that are out there. And if this video was helpful for you, you can check that out. FulltimeFBA.com/year in FBA, and it will help you get your whole year set up for amazing profits. So anyway, those are my 6 top tips to help you start Q1 right, continue those Q4 profits into Q1. I really appreciate you watching this, and I hope you have a great day. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to scroll down, click like, leave us a comment or a question. That'd be cool. For more information about turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA, come over to the blog, FulltimeFBA.com. And for more videos, check us out and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.